Hello, welcome to another review. Side note, the reason why I transpose my voice and make it higher, a little bit chipmunky, is because I'm from a place where it's a little bit homophobic, a lot homophobic, so it's best that I try my best not to connect myself to this BL world, right? Because for other people, if they should be found out, people would just hate on them. For me, I could go to jail for just being queer. So that's why I do that. Okay. Anyway, today I'm going to talk about Perfect 10 Liners. I've actually seen 14 episodes, the first 14 episodes, and this show, it's fantastic. It's great. It's amazing. Okay. There's all of that. Okay. And so I'm going to basically give my review of all 14 episodes. Basically, I'm just going to just a summary of the things that I like or maybe things I did not care for. Okay. So let's start with the first couple. Ack, right? Ack. They were fantastic in this. Okay. Usually I don't care for okay, let me put it this way. This couple, they've had a series in the past that I've not really 100% loved, right? On Shantae, for example, I found certain parts to be very annoying. Boss and the Babe, it was cute, but a little bit too slow for me. Only Friends, I barely watched that one. I barely watched that one. So I was a bit worried when I was about to start this one, and I guess there was no need to because this was great. Their characters were fun, they were lovable. I was like, I am here for this, okay? And I like how the story was very comedic. I love comedy. If you know me, you know I love comedy. So I like how they were very comedic and very, very silly. And they were using stereotypical behaviors, but it was just adorable to watch. So yeah, I love those two. One thing that I didn't really love was whenever they try to create like a heavy moment, which is like very deep or very sad or whatever, those did not work for me. I don't know. I don't know what it was about that. It wasn't really flowing with the story. And I think some of that happened in like episode five, right? And that I don't know, it wasn't really doing it for me. But aside those little moments, the rest was just fantastic. The rest was just fantastic. Okay. All right. So the second thing I want to talk about is Sand, Paul, and Arm. The people I like to call the Three Musketeers. They were also fantastic in this show. I know Arm is part of them, but yeah, all three were fantastic. And for me, whenever I watch BL, sometimes I lean more towards the friends, because it's just beautiful to see, people being that comfortable with each other, being silly and adorable and all that. And I love that. And these three were no different. They were just ridiculous. Okay, ridiculous. All three of them. Their energy, their behavior pattern, it was fantastic. I'm very sad that Paul did not get a love of his own, but what are you gonna do? All right. But the other excuse me for that. But all three were just I loved everything about that. Like I loved the main couple and then I loved the Three Musketeers. It was fantastic. Oh, and before I forget, the story is divided into like three parts, right? The first eight episodes is the first couple story. The second eight episodes is a different couple story, and the third one would also be a different couple, right? And currently, I've only seen the first two, and they're not even done with the first two. They finished the first one. They left the second one. They're currently on episode 15, right? Yeah, and in 3 days or so there will be episode 16, right? I want to wait for more episodes to come out before I continue, right? But yeah, anyway, I'm mainly talking about the first eight episodes for now. The main couple in there, and then the Three Musketeers. Ugh, love them, love them. All right. And another thing that I loved was that the characters, Sand and Pond, right? I love that they were given more of a role in the story. Because I previously watched, what was the show? We Are the series. And according to the pictures and everything, the cover pic, it looked like they were one of the main couples, right? But throughout the show, they barely had any relevant moment, right? But then in this show, which is Perfect 10 Liners, they felt like a second couple to the main story, and it was really good. I like that. I like the energy together. I like the way they were, ridiculous and fun with one another and all that. And I like how they were giving more screen time, right? I like that. I really did enjoy that, and I'm glad they were able to. I can't wait for them to have their own actual series. All right, I can't wait for that. And another thing I also enjoyed was the stray couple, the Jet, and Poon character. They were cute too. They didn't really do much in the story, but they were cute. And I really like the Jet guy because I've seen him in other shows that I love. He was in The Whisperer from last year, and I love The Whisperer. Last year was like my favorite BL last year, right? That would be like 2024, right? So I love him. Okay, he was also in my ride. I think the previous year or maybe some years ago, and that show was cute. Though there were certain things I found to be a little bit hypocritical, but that show was still fine for the most part. But yeah, I can't wait to see him in my romance scammer. It's supposed to be a new series, and that also has one of the couples from Perfect Liners. I can't wait for that as well. Anyway, also the guy who played Cobb, I think his name is Cobb. He's one of Axe friend, right? When are they going to give him another main role? I need to see him in another main role. Okay, we are done with this side quest that he keeps playing. Put my man in another main role. Okay, all right. And then there's also the warm character. He's one of the friends of Ak as well. For him, I don't know. Maybe I'm biased on this, but I feel like he plays the same role all the time. Actually, let me rephrase that. I feel like, regardless of what role he gets to play, he kind of plays them in the same exact way all the time. In a way that he feels like a cool guy who just is on board to a degree and just does stuff. I don't know how to really describe it, but I saw him in something something favorite, be my favorite. And I've also seen him, I think, in other shows. He was in Not Me a bit, right? But I didn't watch most of Not Me, so I can't say much about that. But I did see him in the Be My Favorite, and I think it's something else which I'm blanking on right now. And most of the time, I see the vibe that he presents is just, I feel like, regardless of the role, he just does the same thing. Like, I feel like for this show, the main thing that, tuned me out a little bit about him was the voice he was using. It just felt like the same way I've had him speak all throughout. And there's nothing wrong with that, obviously, but it's just, I don't know. I was watching his character and I was expecting to see him be a little bit different than the previous versions I've seen him be. And it kind of felt the same. And also, I saw the trailer for Only Friends, the new one that they're going to make the season two. And the trailer to it, I felt like he was giving similar vibes, similar behaviors. And like, there's a difference between an actor who keeps getting the same role, so they have to act the exact same way. There's a difference between that and an actor who kind of gets different roles, but it feels like they are acting the exact same way. That's what I feel with this warm actor, right? So, there was that about it. Anyway, that's what I have to say about the first 8 episodes. It was good. I enjoyed it. It was fun. And then, despite the warm character doing all that, I still enjoyed this character. Don't get me wrong. I just wanted to see something a little bit different. Okay. All right, so I did enjoy the Fast Eight. It was good. It was great. One thing that I would say is this: though the story is good, the main couple, the storyline for the main couple, the main plot, it feels like it drags. I was watching the story and I felt like the story could have resolved everything like by episode three, but they just kept dragging it and dragging it and dragging it to like the eighth episode. And the comedy is what really helped it because if it was a story without comedy, that would have been very hard to watch for me, you know. And the same thing is the same thing with the second half of the story as well. from episode 9 to like episode 14, which I am at, it feels like the main couple, it just feels like they're dragging the story as well. Initially, it's interesting, don't get me wrong. Initially, it's interesting, everything falls in place. But as the story goes on, it just feels like they're repeating stuff just cause, and the story's not moving, and I don't know, they're just dragging it a little bit. But the story's still good, the comedy is still good, the characters are silly, and I love that. Okay. So now for the second part of the story, which I've only watched up to episode 14, we have the Yota and Gan character. Now they were new, they're basically a new ship for us, and so far they're doing a really good job, and I like that. I know the Gan actor from My Only 12%. That was a show that I really loved. So it was interesting to see him again, and like, it's cute, right? And he's also very adorable, so there is that. And the Yota guy, I know him from Dangerous Romance. I loved Dangerous Romance. I love that show. The storytelling in that show was like, it was good. Okay. I loved that show. Not everything about it, obviously, because I'm a human being, but I loved most things about it, like 95% love. Right. Anyway, this couple, I feel like so far their story is the most interesting to me out of all the stories I've gotten from the show. The beginning of both traumas and stuff like that, it's quite interesting, and I was really, tuned in. But again, they're dragging it out at a certain point. I feel like things have kind of been resolved by now, but they're just dragging it. But still, the story was interesting, so I'll give them that. And then the Clow and Wah character, those two are toxic. They're very toxic. I don't know that if that was a real life relationship, I don't know how that's going to end, in a good note or like well for them, because that doesn't feel like a healthy relationship. And for the most part, the older guy, the Wa character, it feels like he's a bit of like a father figure to the Clark character. Not necessarily like his father, but in terms of how Clark would always mess up and Wa would be like, fine, I forgive you, let's get together again. Or like he'd be like, think about what you just did. That's very parental, like coded in a way. So I don't know whether that's intentional from the writers or not. But that's interesting. I don't know. It feels very trauma bonding in a way. I don't know. But their story is also cute, and Fifa, Fifa, I can't pronounce the name. I've been pushing out the names, forgive me for that. But Fifa and the wine character, they've had a story all throughout the entire shit, right? We've seen them all the way, though not as like main couples. They are kind of secondary all throughout, but they'll be the main couple in the last part of the story, right? And so far, their story is also cute. It's building up nicely. They kind of knew each other a little bit, and they've been meeting all throughout here and there, having moments here and there. That's kind of cute. That is kind of cute. So I'll give them for that. I give them applause for that. Okay, excuse me. Now the side frame. Is the side friends. The side friends in the second part of the story, which is the Gan's friend, and then the Gan's friend, the one whom he's in the who sleeps with him, who initially slept with him in the dorm, and then the other two friends he made in class, the one who was in Cooking Crash, and the one who was in I think my school president, I think he did a song in my school president that I really love. It's like a slow motion song when those two were dancing. I love that song. I think it's Come Close or something. I don't know. It's a really cute record. Right. Yeah, those friends too, they were nice. I enjoyed their vibe. And the guy from the guy from Cooking Crash, I like him. I like him a lot, and I wish he would also get something main lead quite soon. Make it happen. That's what I'm saying. And yeah. Like, okay, yeah. What else should I talk about? I think that's about it from the entire 14 episodes that I've seen. So far, the story is good, though they stretch out some of the storylines. And I'm not gonna lie to you, I did not have much expectation for the story. I really did not. But it's that good. It is that good. Okay, you can't hate on this. I feel like you just can't. It's a good story. All right, and for other parts of the story where they're not necessarily doing like maybe a great job, they make up for it somewhere else. So it just feels like a good balanced story, and I love it. That's what I have to say, and that's my review about this. I'll definitely watch more. I would definitely watch more. Anyway, uh, see you next time for the next review. And I will recommend this show 100%. Okay, 100, 100, and then the percent sign. Okay, like for real, for real. Anyway, that's my review. Thanks for listening, and yeah, bye.